Thank you for tuning in to hear the story of how my husband and I were drawn to a vacation rental by the spirit of a teenage boy. It was around Easter several years ago. I was tired of everything going on in life, and we just decided that we wanted to stop, drop everything, and find a vacation rental for us to go spend Easter alone. My only requirement was a beautiful cabin in the middle of nowhere with a hot tub. I never just rent a place without checking out several locations. But once I found this place, I couldn't help it. It was the first one we looked at, and I just rented it. It was in the middle of nowhere on Shoal Creek in Lower Tennessee. I couldn't wait to get up there and just relax and have a good time. When we arrived, it was gorgeous. Everything we had hoped it would be. So we went inside, took in our belongings, and got settled in for the afternoon. While hanging out in the living room, we did notice the lights flickering on and off in the master bedroom. At the time, I didn't think anything of it and just passed it on as a possible electrical problem. Later that afternoon, I was making us some dinner in the kitchen. As I was standing in the kitchen, something grabbed my hoodie and pulled it up and dropped it on my shoulder. It freaked me out and I was shocked. And my husband, who was just so happened to be sitting in the living room watching me, actually saw it himself. So it was confirmed. I not only felt it, but he actually physically saw my shirt lift up and drop back down. After dinner, we decided to go outside, spend a little bit of time in the hot tub and the beautiful back porch. It was gorgeous and we had a great time. Then we went back inside and it was time to head to bed. So I went to sleep, but little did I know that in the middle of the night, my husband actually heard the front door open and someone walked through the cabin and out the back door onto the porch. He says he got up with a pew pew and went checking everything. No one had came in, the doors had not been opened, and there was no one anywhere to be seen. The next morning was a beautiful morning. We were just laying in bed watching the eagles fly out the window. Then all of a sudden, we heard Christmas music playing. It's Easter. I have no idea where Christmas music is coming from, so we get up to investigate. At first, we thought it was the doorbell, like maybe they had some Christmas music programmed to the doorbell. So we go to the door, ring the bell, and that is definitely not the sound that we heard. A thorough walkthrough of the whole cabin shown nothing Christmas related except for a cookie jar high up on the kitchen cabinet where no one could touch it. So again, we just shrugged it off and went on about our morning. Here shortly, the owners of the cabin pulled up. They had some work to do on the property and was just letting us know that they would be on the property for a few moments. While they were there, however, I was quite curious to know if they had experienced any paranormal activity on the property. They did say that it was Indian land, so there's likely to be spirits everywhere, but asked why we were asking that. So we did tell them about the experiences that we had in the home the night before. We were outside standing underneath the cabin as it was high up in the air on stilts to avoid flooding. And as we were telling the couple what we had experienced, the husband actually broke down in tears. Then he proceeded to tell us the story about how he and his wife had just purchased that property along with several others and had moved there, and about how he had just lost his 14-year-old son to an accident with an electrical wire where he was on the roof of a home helping cut down some trees and he fell into the electrical wire. And it was also at that time that he informed us that just a week prior, he had spread some of his son's ashes right in front of the cabin. And that just so happened to be the date that I found the cabin online and didn't have a second thought about renting it and rented it automatically. He also informed us that his son was a prankster and that he liked pulling pranks and jokes on people. And he took us upstairs into the cabin and showed us the cookie jar on the top shelf and pulled it off of the top after he climbed up onto the cabinet because he couldn't reach it from the ground. Brought the cookie jar down and said, "Is this the noise you heard?" And he took the lid off of the cookie jar and turned it upside down, and the exact music we heard started playing. But mind you, you had to take the cookie jar lid off and turn it upside down for the music to start playing. What the hell? He then proceeds to tell us that this happened to him right before Christmas time and that he was in the hospital on life support until New Year's Day when they took him off of life support, and that every holiday that has passed since then, that he has sent signs to his father to let him know that he's there with him, and that this year we were the signs. This story was heartfelt and very touching, and it did cause us to create a lasting friendship with this couple. We were friends with them for several months. They invited us to go on trips with them. We would come up to their house in Tennessee, travel from our home here in Alabama to hang out and spend time with them, just like we were family. The gentleman was happy to have us around, thinking that his son, actually knowing and feeling that his son had sent us to him. The following Christmas, we go up to Tennessee and house set their personal property for them while they went on a small vacation. As they get home, we leave. We come back home, but we have plans to actually meet with them again New Year's Eve to shoot some fireworks and have a big celebration. However, before we could get there that morning, we received a phone call from his wife stating not to come, that his body had been found in the lake. We were both devastated, but my husband more than I, because he had developed quite a strong bond with this gentleman. I strongly believe that the spirit of this young boy brought us to his father to allow his father to enjoy the ending of his life. This personal experience had a profound impact on my decision to start investigating the paranormal. I spend every spare moment that I have going out and seeking answers, wanting to learn deeper about the paranormal. My team name is called OG Paranormal. I go by Spooky Boo. Thank you so much for joining me for my story. I have others that I will be making more videos about, so if you liked this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.